did it.
We did it. I was like, so I'm sitting here, I'm pushing buttons, and I'm trying, but apparently you can't go in like a minute or two early.
Oh,
You get a notification right at the time,
yeah.
um, and then it says your your
Live.
live is up. Click to go in there. So, because
Ah,
I was trying to go in there about a half hour ago and just make sure everything was situated,
yeah. We
but we
did
here
it.
now.
All good. All
We are
good.
here
All
now.
good. How are you doing?
How how are you?
Yeah, good. Trying to get the sun in on my face.
Yeah, I know. It's 11 a.m. there, right?
Yeah, it's 11. It's a nice sunny day. So yeah, all good. The birds are so noisy here, so I hope that yeah, it will be all good. They are so noisy. Can you hear
Nature
that?
is actually I
No.
can't. I don't hear the bird.
It's that. Do you hear it? I don't know what it is. But they always come at the worst time. Do you hear that?
Yeah. Now I hear it. Now I hear it.
Oh,
Nature don't care about us. They're gonna do what they do.
exactly.
They're
Exactly.
on their own time schedule, their own agenda. We're just witnessing what they do for centuries, you know? We're just spectators to the natural
Right.
order of things.
Exactly.
So let's see. I'm checking to see where we are. Hopefully, folks will be joining us soon. I had a lot of people say they can't wait to watch. They're going to be there. So, or be here. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think with these things, like people just jump on and, jump on when they can. Because, yeah, what time is it? 7? Well,
Yeah,
it
it's
depends
just
on
a
where
little
you
after
are.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
7:04.
yeah. But maybe we just
Um,
get going and people jump on.
yeah, so let's do that. I love that you sat behind your world map. That is so dope. Like, so beautiful. Is that wood?
Yeah, it's wood and it's a live wall. So really we use it to kind of document our travel journey. And you have these, I don't know if you can see them, but there's like pins. So you get like a pack with all different countries in them. And so you pin where you've been. And it's beautiful. I love travel. So it's always exciting when I'm able to, add a new pin or think about kind of where I want to go next. But I love that it's a beautiful, like it looks beautiful against the wall. And this is kind of like a cement looking wall.
Mm.
So it's beautiful against that, but it's also a live interactional thing. So when people come, and it's right in front of the dinner table as well. So when
Oh,
people come,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, a conversation starter for sure. People kind of searching out where they're from or where they live. And
Right,
because we
right.
have this on Airbnb, this house as well, generally travelers, people from all over come. So they also love to see, on this view, kind of where they're from. So yeah,
Well,
I
welcome
love it.
everyone. Yeah, welcome. I see we have some folks joining us now.
Yeah, nice.
Welcome in. We were just chit-chatting. We haven't started our conversation yet. We were just chit-chatting. I was just admiring Chantel's um, living artwork or functional artwork, I should say. Thank you all for joining us. Drop in the comments, where are you joining us from? Where in the world are you? Since this is a conversation about mixing global cultures and global design, I would love to know where all of you are from, or where you're calling in from, or calling in. It's old school. Where you call it caller? Where are you from? Where are you watching? I'm so old school.
Yeah.
Where are you watching our conversation from? Let me know in the comments. And it'd be a good way for me to test the comments feature here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on my end. I have my glasses here ready, waiting, but I'm
Yeah, you see, I put mine on. I was like, let me,
I was like, I don't
let
want to put them on yet.
me
Yeah.
see. Um, hmm. We'll give it some time. This is my first YouTube live. Is this your first one too, Chantel?
It's first YouTube, yeah. But
So,
like I mm,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was saying I think if it's anything similar to Insta lives, it's good to just be in the conversation. People will come in as they come in. You know what I mean? Because people are kind of like, oh, I'll drop in when I can, rather than this is the set time. So I reckon we just get going, and yeah, hopefully people will drop in and hear something that intrigues and stick around.
Absolutely. And don't forget, if you're just joining us, let us welcome, first of all. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang out with us. Let us know in the comments where you are watching from. And have you watched Chantel's home tour yet? Because that's what we're going to be talking about tonight slash this morning, depending on where you are. So I would love to know if you have watched watched Chantel's home tour yet. So let's go ahead and get started. And I will try to figure out this comment section. I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, you're not either.
So we'll continue to work on that or figure that out as we go. Again, we're both newbies at
There's
YouTube
on my
Live.
end, it's subscribers only mode. So is there a way of taking that off?
Oh, subscribers. Oh,
Mm.
I think you. Oh, I think it's a setting where you, in order to comment, you have to be a subscriber. So let me see if I can change that now, if it'll let me. If not, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so that you can leave a comment, because we since we've started, I don't know if I'll be able to change that, but we're going to find out. Let's see. Other title and description. Yeah, so it
Maybe
looks
maybe throw me in a question. I can be talking while you're trying to work that out, Nitra.
sure. So as we all know, the Chantel's How We Live episode, I consider it went viral because as soon as it posted, it had over 10,000 views in less than a day, in less than 24 hours, which is amazing.
Hey, I can see a comment.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
Um,
you.
thank you. In Florida, yes. Hey, welcome. You're close to me. I'm right in Georgia. So welcome everyone again. I'm going to be working on some kinks regarding the comments. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel so that you can leave a comment. We were asking where everyone's joining us from and if they've had a chance to watch Chantel's How We Live tour. If I'm unable to work out the issue regarding comments, all you have to do is just subscribe to my channel, and then it will allow you to leave a comment so we can get the conversation going. And we want to be able to answer your questions too. So to prevent any hiccups, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and then you'll be able to hop into the comments and ask your questions and so on. So Chantel's How We Live home tour, one of the most popular tours and episodes that I've had on the How We Live series. And so, because of that, Chantel and I decided that we wanted to go live and talk to all of you about it. Like, what was it about it that spoke to everyone so much and so quickly? I know why I loved it, but I first want Chantel to explain to us first. Tell us a little bit about who she is and how she got into interior design and especially from a global perspective.
Yeah. So hi everyone. Hi CEF from Lawrenceville. Nice to meet you, and thanks again, Anitra, for supporting me, for having me on the episode, and for this chat today. I'm really appreciative. For me, my design journey has been kind of an interesting one. Actually, somebody, I think my mum's been sharing the video, and somebody wrote in the comments the other day that you take your love of like design and interiors and gardening from your mum. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Growing up, we'd always have a beautiful home. She always took so much pride, and she was always kind of out there in terms of her style and stuff like that. But I'd never actually, made that correlation. I went on a different path. So I pursued a career in social work and moved from England to Melbourne and stayed in that social work realm. But I'd always, always, always been passionate about design, about styling, about upcycling, just always being a creative. And then I think it was really, when I really got serious about it, it was like COVID. We had bought a house and we were renovating it, and I'd been kind of documenting that journey. And then I'd been asked to do other projects just informally for people, and that kind of grew. And then throughout that time, I was traveling to Bali quite a lot. And I'd always been inspired by Bali, always loved the aesthetic, always loved the kind of natural elements, really spoke to me. And I felt after COVID, I felt like this is what I want to do. This is what I'm meant to be doing. I've been struggling kind of with my purpose before that, and then realized this is what I wanted to do, did some work to be able to pursue that, moved to Bali, and that's what I am. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And honestly, it feels so good to be in a place that I love and doing something that I really love as well. It's so fulfilling. The journey has been so interesting, and I'm still, progressing and working out what I want to do and how I want to do it. But it's been a beautiful journey.
Now, before because you mentioned you're born and raised in the UK,
Yes.
and then you moved to Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
And now you also have a home in Bali, Indonesia. So, which is so exciting, Can you tell us why Bali? Why did you decide to move to Bali? And what that experience has been like for you so far?
Yeah. So living in Melbourne, it's like the equivalent of a lot of Americans going to Mexico or something. It's quite a short distance away because Australia is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing really around. So it's like 5 hours. So I'd been there a lot and always, as I said, just being inspired. I think when you go somewhere and it really speaks to you, like I always go somewhere and I always have this thing of, oh, could I live here? Because I think I'm just the wanderlust at heart. And I just, always have a vision of living in different places. But that place, Bali, going there just spoke my language in terms of the richness of the culture, the people. People say that all the time, but I'm telling you, the people are so warm. It's such a soft life. They are beautiful people in terms of the food, in terms of the landscape. So many things and so many elements that are important to me are all there. And then to top it off, Little Bali is like the epicenter of design. So, there is inspiration everywhere, from cafes to spas to, they put thought in everything. It's not just a little cafe, it's like insane design. And also, what I really loved about it, which is my language too, working with the natural elements that they've got. So the woods, the stones, the timbers, the greenery, that indoor, outdoor. And I just remember going and feeling like, oh, my soul is just so happy. My soul is so happy here. I think after COVID, we went through so much, but it really like turned things around about how we could live. So things that were impossible before became possible. We moved from, having to go into an office every day to actually we can do this remotely, and we don't need to be at our home. We can do it in another country and do it. That opened up for me, like, I'm going to make this work. I didn't have it all worked out, but I'm like, if there's anything that has come out of this horrid ordeal, it's like life is too short and I'm going to make this work and I'll work it out as I go. And so I took a trip as soon as the gates opened and we could travel. I went back to Bali and I spent a month there because I thought I need to know that this is not just a trip, a nice holiday. I need to know that it's somewhere I can call home. And I found a community, I found people who looked like me. I just immersed myself in everything and I was like, yeah, this is it. And then I think after that trip, it was like 3 or 4 months later, I left. I went. And that's been it. I've been there for over 2 years. So yeah, I still come back here to Melbourne every now and again, but that's my base.
I think it's important that you said you decided to go back. You traveled there for vacation a couple times, and then you went back to live there for about a month, just to make sure it wasn't just the highlights of being in vacation mode, which is smart because a lot of people have visited places and say, I would love to live here, I want to live here, but you technically have only been there, let's say a week or 2 weeks,
Yeah.
because you were on vacation. So you're already, on a high and you're sightseeing and you're trying all these new things and you love it. But on a day to day, what would it really be like to live there? Um, and you may not find out until you move there, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is not exactly how I thought it was going to be,
Yeah.
because the lullaby of the vacation is over. So that's a smart tip for people thinking about moving, which a lot of us are right now. You're going to want to go to that country multiple times for multiple periods of time just to make sure that it's really the kind of place that you want to live in. So,
Yeah. Or go with somebody who is from there and who can, fast track you through some of the things so you can learn about that place. Because it's a beautiful place, but it's not the easiest to navigate. So I felt like in a good position because I'd been numerous times before, but I'd also connected to people who have been there. So yeah, it was just important for me to understand that it isn't just a vacation. It's can I adapt? Is this the way of life for me? How is it going to work into everything else? So that was really important. Someone, I don't know if you've seen the question, Anitra, or you want to, but someone's put a question in there about why I didn't invest in South Africa rather than Bali. I'm just curious. Yoda, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I've never been to South Africa. For me, I'm not saying Bali is my forever home, because, like I said, I am a wanderlust. It's where I am now. It's where I'm going to be for, some time. But there's so many other places that I want to explore as well. So who knows where I'll be or where I'll invest, but it felt right to me. It was the right move for me at this period of time. But who knows where we'll be in a few years' time. I definitely want to visit. I definitely still have so many places on the board that I need to travel. And I always have my own eyes open when I go to those places. So yeah, we'll see. But for now, Bali is my spot.
now, let's talk about your Bali home for a second. Um, Walk us through that. When you arrived, was the home um, already furnished? Was it, what kind of condition was it in? How did you get a realtor, a real estate agent? How was that process of getting a home in Bali?
So yeah, the place was not in a great condition at all. It was a small house. I didn't expect to be living there, and that, I guess to say, that is also not going to be my forever home. The plan for that place was to renovate it and put it on the rental, because that's kind of what we've been doing in Bali, short-term rental market. So I had plans to do it up. I've got a good network now of realtors and local people who just provide information. Who provide information about houses that come on the market. So I was kind of looking in that area. I also had a friend that lived in that area, and I was aware that in Bali, we're kind of like Canggu is the hub, and that's kind of where everybody goes. But we're moving away from Canggu because it's so built up there, and we're kind of moving, in the outer areas. So I wanted to be forward thinking and think about how to move, how to kind of get into that futuristic market of where the people are going to be going. So no, it was in such a bad state of disrepair. It was like my husband was like, he has faith and he's always supportive, but even this time he was like, really, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, because not because it was any outstanding building or anything like that, it was just that outlook. So when you look outside, you don't see any cars, you don't see any traffic, you just see an expanse of beautiful, lush, white, green rice fields that, hopefully they're not going anywhere soon. And for me, I was like, if you were coming to Bali, you didn't want to be in the hustle and bustle, you just wanted to be and have peace, that is the perfect spot. It's still not far from the beach, but it is so tranquil, it's so serene, it's so beautiful, and it's also so like it still has that old school Bali feel, like you in the hub of the village where you still see the farmers, you still see, everybody going to the community halls, doing all the customary cultural things, and just going about their everyday life. And that was the appeal for Bali to me, and just being enriched by that culture. So it's very much part of that community. And so when we did the renovation, we gutted the whole house, we changed it from a cottage, I'd say, not even a house, it's that small. We changed it from a 2-bedroom, pokey bedroom, to a 1-bedroom. But it's more roomier, and it's still small, but it's enough. When we did it, we were like, I don't want to move. I want to be here for a while. I want to stay here because this is so soothing to my soul. So yeah, eventually we'll move on and it'll be on to the next. But for now, we are settled, we're happy there, and we just want to enjoy it before we have to hand it over and move on to the next.
Hey, CEF from Lawrenceville, Georgia. You right up the road from me. Trust Designs from Cali. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. You're right, Tuskisha. It's about seeing the vision. And that's kind of what stops a lot of people in their tracks is having a hard time seeing the vision. So that's why I wanted you to explain for us how this came about. Because it's easy to say I moved to Bali and decorated this gorgeous house. But how did, what was a little bit about how that happened? And what was the state of the house? So now you have the home, and you start remodeling it, and now you're at a place where you're ready to start the interior design aspect. Talk to us about how you sourced all of the beautiful pieces in your home, and what that's like in Bali, especially when you were saying navigating things can be tricky. So how did you go about actual designing the home, given some of those barriers?
Yeah, so this is probably, I should know, but it's not my first one. So I've probably designed about 6 before this in Bali. So I've built up my experience. I've built up my networks, suppliers. So, you know, it might have been a different story had it been in the beginning. So I guess going back, when I first started, I lived in a house. I think it's featured in the video as well. I really took my time with that because I used that as an exercise to be able to really understand the law of the land, how you communicate, how you negotiate, where to go, all of those things. So I really, really, really took my time and learned so much through that process. And then I've just been building and building and building through as the projects progress. I've got a little trusted team who I always work with in construction, and I have people who I can go to for different things. If I want things custom made, I know I go to, you know, I've got a choice of people I go to. So that's built over time. Because it's, you could go there and you could just go to the box standard tourist places. That's not where the gems are, you know, but that's taken me time living there, breathing there, you know, making mistakes, all of those things, and building up that kind of repertoire and network. So now I love sourcing. I love sourcing because I'm always inspired by new things that I see. I'm always wanting to try to bring history and character into things. So I love, you know, in Bali, we have some beautiful vintage shops, which really are real live art. Like, these are the pieces that they might use in weddings. These are the headdresses that women will wear before, you know, they get married or something like that. And beautiful pieces in the villa in Bali. There's 3 dongs that are on the wall, and they were real musical instruments that people use, and now we are using them as home decor pieces. So for me, it's always a journey. I don't get the joy from just going to a box standard shop and picking things. I want to bring in elements that really tell a story, that have character, and that's what I enjoy about it. So what am I learning? I'm always learning something, you know, in that process, because I'm not going to just go, yeah, you might just go to your shop when you want 1 or 2 things, but I'm always trying to bring something unexpected, things that people will ask about or be curious about. Because a lot of the places that I've done are Airbnbs, and you'll get people, oh, I'm really interested in this, or tell me about that. They will then take photos, they will then share. Like, it's how we kind of like build, but it's also a good marketing strategy as well. So yeah, sourcing is something I love. You will never be tired of that because there's so many places, from people who are making things, the craftsmen, you know, to be able to go to their little warehouses and see the really humble environments and the humble tools that they're working with, and see what they're able to create, is just like mind blowing. And it's something that we I love doing it so much, and we've brought that element into the design retreat. I guess we can talk about that after, but just giving people that experience of being able to see for themselves. So not just sourcing to the, you know, to go into box standard shop, but sourcing and seeing how things are made and created, and the skill and craftsmanship behind all of those things.
Now,
Probably.
Reflektion Designs wanted to know, what were the steps you took to locate your team members, given the language barrier, and what was that process like?
That was that was interesting, and just very much trial and error in a way, but also with some people, with other people, I've been with them from day dot. Um, so I have someone who is kind of like, he can do all sorts of things, and he brings people in. And I don't know, I have to share a video one time. I think my husband took a video of us communicating with each other. I am
Oh, yeah.
trying to learn Indonesian, but Google Google Translate is my friend. But he videoed us one time. I look back and I'm like, oh, it's actually hysterical. But we're able to communicate.
Mhm.
It might be clumsy, it might be, you know, not sophisticated, but we are able to communicate. So I've been so lucky with him. when I eventually found him, and went, I went through some trial and errors before that, but since that, Mohammed, he's my guy. I trust him. He now kind of like, before he'd do something and I'd be like, no, that we need to. And now he gets me. I don't have to explain everything. So I feel so blessed. But it was very much trial and error until I got to that stage. Just some people are just not aligned. It's not a good fit. And language definitely is a barrier. But like I said, Google Translate is your friend. And I think as you get to know somebody, they kind of understand you. He understands like what would be acceptable and what wouldn't be acceptable for me. So us growing in this journey together has been like really beautiful, and something that I don't take for granted, because I know like that is the key. Finding the right people who can help you, who can kind of implement the vision is so important. But it's tricky. I'm not gonna lie, it's tricky. But there are beautiful people out there. There's great workmanship, but it's also like getting the right personality that suits you, because not everybody, you're not going to work well with everyone. But the little team that I have so far, touch wood, we're in a good place, and yeah, feel really blessed about that.
I see that Kim is here. Hey, sis, Dream Your Reality Creative Studio. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Kim also has a episode on the How We Live series. So I invite you guys after our chat tonight to check out Kim's tour. She has a gorgeous studio in North Carolina. So thanks for joining us, Kim. And thank you everyone who's here with us. As I mentioned, if you want to leave a comment or ask a question, just hit the subscribe button on my channel, and then you'll be able to join us in the comments, because we definitely want to answer your questions tonight. And we love that you're here. Feel free to share the link so others can join us as well. Now, you, as I said before, you lived in Melbourne, Australia. So you have home decor and pieces from that experience. And then you now have home decor and pieces from your time since you have lived in Bali. Was there a different approach to decorating in Melbourne versus Bali? And how did you go about combining the art and decor from both places into your home? Because that can be kind of tricky. Some people are like, well, I've traveled a lot of places and I have a lot of types of art. How do I mix them so that it looks right and it feels right in the home?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think my natural style, I'd say it's global. So I love to implement things from places that I have visited, places that inspire me, whether it's, wall decor, whether it's art, whether it's textiles. And when I've looked around my place in Melbourne, I was like, maybe it was always meant to be that I was meant to go to Bali, because I have so many pieces. I'm also someone who really loves my African inspired decor. And what I love about Balinese decor is that juxtaposition really of both of those two cultures. There's a lot of similarities. So it was quite easy for me to blend that. Moving to Melbourne, being so far away from home, like I wanted to keep hold of my identity of who I was, because I'm now in a different place. It's beautiful, it's global, but it isn't like the same mix as it is in England. And I was like, I need to keep who I am. I need to walk into my home and feel like this is me. So it was important for me to bring those elements, but then going to Bali and bringing some of those pieces back, that they are Balinese, but it still had that feeling of, the global. And like I said, that kind of mix with African Indonesian is very apparent. I think that a lot of people, I find, want to do that, want to bring elements of travel into their homes. And there's a trick to it, I guess, in terms of like just how you do it and where you might put those pieces. I've done like a guide for how you can do that. And it could just be subtle pieces. It doesn't need to be massive big pieces, but it could just be like a couple of pillows that have a texture. It could be a book that you've picked up. You know, on my bookshelf, I've got different books of different places that I've traveled to. It could just be a piece of art or something like that. But it's just, I guess, I'm very much into like storytelling. So if you come through my home, I want you to know what's important to me. My husband, we both love travel. My husband is Italian, so you'll see elements of that. My background is Caribbean, so you might see elements of that, but also my heritage, which is African heritage, you'll see elements of that as well. We all come with different things, and it's like I want to be able to fuse all that together and for people to see that. And for me to feel that, more importantly than other people, me to feel that, and it's my place and it tells my story. I think the difference with going to Bali was that like I just said in my point before, it was more about I could find really meaningful pieces. So not just the average wall decor, but I could actually go into a vintage store and pick something up that was authentic, and you know I could understand what was behind that. So yeah, I think that I've been able to implement more of those really authentic pieces from different parts of Indonesia, not just Bali, different parts of Indonesia, and have a better understanding of what they mean and the history and the culture behind them. So whereas, you know, the things that I've brought back are very decorative, cute, but decorative. But yeah, in Bali, it's been about, no, I want to dig a little deeper and really understand the authentic, you know, which pieces are authentic and what they mean. So that's kind of one of the big differences there.
Is there ever a issue of cultural appropriation when it comes to sourcing the decor, um, whether it's for your home or for clients? How do you approach that when you are designing a space?
So for me, they're in shops available and for sale, but I would always find out about them. So I don't want to just pick something up and not have any understanding of what it is, because it might not be a positive thing. You know, some things are interesting, but they're not actually, the history and the understanding and the meaning behind them are not actually positive. So I'd always try to get an understanding of what that is. And for me, it's things like I said, musical instruments, or there's a lot of kind of elements that go into weddings. So like a comb, a beautiful comb that's used for the bride's hair, or a pen, like a beautiful pen, but it's like in a shell or something like that. But I'll try to find something that's positive. And the reaction that I've had when I've had local people come to my house and see these things is that they have pride and they have a respect for you, that you're in Bali and you're showcasing this, you know, and that you actually have some understanding. I have in one place like this big wooden, I think it's called a trough. They used it in a trough. They used it in the olden days for when they were doing manual farming. Some people would have looked at that and be like, Chantel, what are you doing? For me, I was like, that is beautiful. I found out, you know, that's what they used to use. And it's so heavy. And I was just like, oh my gosh, these people are so hardworking. And I have that on my wall. But if anytime I have any trades or anything coming, they always admire it. And I think that they respect the fact that you're in there and you're honoring their history, their culture. I'm running Airbnbs. I'm not just trying to go in there and put my slants. I want people to feel like they're in Bali and they can learn something about the culture and the history through staying at my homes. So I haven't had or experienced anything negative, but I think that's because I've been careful about the pieces that I've chosen, and I've got you know, some information about that, so I know it's positive. Yeah.
Now, yes, CEF, definitely catch up. You said you got to catch up on a couple episodes. You don't want to miss Chantel's episode, which we're talking about tonight. As I said before, it's one of the fastest viewed videos that I've had in the entire time of doing the series. Over 10,000 views in less than a day. And once you watch the episode, you will see why. Because it is absolutely stunning. It's warm. It's inviting. It's such a zen space. And as you said, when you get a chance, definitely catch up on all the other episodes. Kim, appreciate your feedback regarding the question, Dream Your Reality Creative Studio. I get asked this question a lot with folks.
Thank you.
About cultural appropriation. And so I wanted to just touch on that a bit because we're all interested, not only in how to navigate it, but also how to make sure you're actually getting the education on the pieces that you have in your home, no matter where they're from. It's always smart to know where they came from and what they're used for, because you're right. You may think it looks nice, but it might have been used for something in a negative way. And you definitely don't want that kind of energy in your house.
No.
So it's smart to do that homework and do that research. So we're talking about Chantel Space. And if you're just joining us, thank you. If you'd like to leave a comment or a question, we are ready to answer your questions. We'll do it as we go and as well as at the end. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you can leave a comment or ask a question. So you just hit the subscribe button and then you'll be able to drop in the comments with your question or your comment. And I agree, it's another great tip. Find out, some people when they bring new things into their home, they may burn sage over it just to cleanse it. So that's something that I would suggest if you're into that. Definitely do that as well, because you don't know where it came from. Even if you bought it at a department store or a home furnishing store, you don't know what went on with that piece, who was involved, what their energy was. If that piece was in somebody else's home and it was returned, and what happened in the house. So we got to cleanse no matter where we get it from. We need to first understand where it came from, but also cleanse the piece so that we're not bringing any of that energy into our home.
I think I'll just CES made a comment that it's been creating a good experience for the guests, and I think that's so important for me to you can design a nice space, but like I said, I want them to feel, I want to honor Bali. It's where I am, it's where I've set up home. I feel like you should come there and feel like you're in Bali and feel like you can learn something about it. So thinking about that guest experience has been something that's really important, and just giving them something to think about, but also blending that with who I am. Like, I still want to put myself out there. I still want to, show up who I am. So always kind of thinking about how does that mix, because I'm not just going to separate who I am. So it's always thinking about that kind of blend, and creating a beautiful experience for the guests.
So Kim really wants to know about your cabinet in your bathroom. We all thought it was metal. I watched because you sent me the clip and I was like, Lord, look at that cabinet. It is so gorgeous. And then you said it's wood. So walk us through that. What's the story behind the cabinet? Did you design it or did you find it already made? Tell us about that gorgeous cabinet.
I would love to say
we will get to the retreat. That's definitely on the agenda. Can't wait to talk about that because Chantelle has some updates. But I wanted to talk about her home first because we that's the focus of the tour. So yes, we're definitely going to talk about the retreat in just a second. But yes, go ahead. Please talk to us about that gorgeous cabinet.
I wish I had a beautiful big story. I wish I could say I was involved in the design of it, but no. I basically was sourcing. So I have, like I said, some trusted places that I go to where I know I'm going to find something special. Like they change all the time. One thing about the craftsmanship there is that they can just have an idea or see something and be like, I'm going to make this. So I don't really know, You know, I wasn't involved in any of that process. I wish I could say I was. I just saw it in a shop and I was like, that's mine. At the time, I didn't even know where it was going. I already had something in the bathroom that was there already. So I was like, where am I going to put something in this little house? But I have to have that, whether it's for this project or somewhere else. And then when I looked at it and I was like, gosh, it's wood. So it's been hand carved. All those intricate details have been hand carved. And then they have like a metal leaf that they've put over it. I was like, this is insane. So I took out it was like an old wardrobe that I had, like a vintage wardrobe in the bathroom. And that's now in my storage room. And that just slotted there perfectly. And I love it because the bathroom is really minimal. There's nothing, you know, it's beautiful. If you saw how it was before, it was basically an outdoor area. So the original bathroom in that place was so small that it couldn't even accommodate a sink. So that now is turned into the extension of the bedroom and the bathroom. And then the bathroom, we went out. So, you know, built that up. And I wanted to keep it really light. It's not huge. It's quite narrow. So I don't want to go over the top. So it's got terrazzo walls. It's got you know, it's just really minimal, beautiful, I think, but minimum. I like the design of the shower. But it's just one element as you walk in that's like, whoa. So it's not overbearing. It really complements everything else because everything else is quite neutral. You know, I've really still selected, curated the pieces, but it's quite a humble room. So I just felt like, no, this is good. This is definitely got to be mine. It's one of the things I love about Bali, though. I've had other pieces made. So scrolling on Pinterest or whatever, you know, some really beautiful high-end shops. And I'm like, this would be amazing for the project, but the piece of the furniture is more than the house. I can go to them and say, can you make this for me? Like, or how can we work on something that has this look? And, you know, there is someone who will be able to do it. I can find somebody who's able to do that. That is the beauty of that place. So in another project with like a Moroccan theme, I had a sideboard made that was just like, it looked like different pieces of wood on it. And I took an idea and we developed, you know, how we could kind of make it a bit more unique and a little bit different, but it still had that feel. And they made it, and it was, you know, in a few weeks I had that. Where does that happen? And also for the price point, you know, it's one of the things that I love about it. So nothing is impossible. They might not have, you know, world-class manufacturing warehouses, but they are gifted and talented people. So that's the story behind it. Sorry, not. I'd love to say, yeah, I sat and designed that and drew it. No, it was it was in the shop. It had my name on it. I was like, we're gonna find a way to fit it in and make it work. It was mine, done. Yes.
Well, I love that. Yeah, it speaks to when you said you want to create an experience for your guest. So all the pieces in the house, well, maybe not all, but many of the pieces that you design with, they have that story or a similar story. They're hand carved, and you actually know the person and worked directly with the person to make that piece. I mean, that's completely different than saying I'm just going to go to a trade show or furniture showroom and buy something. It's a very different. It's going to look different. It's going to feel different. There's nothing like the touch, you know, having the hand make something versus the machine. So I'm glad you shared that.
It's like a few coffee tables I've bought. You basically go into a warehouse and you select your timber that you want, and you work with them about the shape that you want it. So if I want a live edge, the thickness that I want it. And so you see it from conception, which is a slab of timber, to the end result, which is a beautiful custom made coffee table, or my dining table. The first place I lived, that's what I did. I saw a beautiful piece of timber, had already like a live edge. And I was like, okay, but these are the dimensions, these are the legs that I want. So when you see it, and then I've got so much footage, I think they're always like, oh, here she is with a camera. But I love watching them. I'm so fascinated by the whole process of how we've gone from this to this. Now it's in my house, like a beautiful work of art. And I've seen that process. So I feel blessed. And it's so interesting. I feel like in Melbourne, I say this to people, they're like, oh, you just love shopping. I actually don't. So my home in Melbourne, I don't know, I just didn't get as much joy out of like shopping for things, bringing things back, yes. But in Bali, sourcing is an education, it is an adventure, it is, something in its own right that is so much more than just going and picking something out. And so, yeah, I have a whole new kind of take and stance on that now.
Well, we're going to keep an eye out, hopefully, on your YouTube channel, so we can hopefully see some of that footage that you're talking about, because I would love to see some of that behind the scenes and how the pieces that you design with are made. And I'm sure everyone watching would love to see it too. Let us know in the comments. So we'll keep an eye out on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have projects coming up, but there's also, a backlog of projects that people can have a look at. I always try to go behind the scenes, so it's not just a case of, oh, this is the house and this is the end. It's quite, and it's always some humor. There's always some drama. There's always something in there. So yeah, I try to kind of capture all of that, the whole journey, just to give people, that behind the scenes information of how it works and how it all comes together. But yeah, there's more projects coming in, so I'll definitely keep that element of it going as well. I think that's kind of what sets it apart, just understand, not just picking something from a shop, but going and seeing that process as much as possible.
Now I'm going to make sure to link your YouTube channel in the replay of our live. But if you've already watched or you plan on watching Chantelle's home tour, she's also linked in the video description for that as well, so that you can go and follow Chantelle, go and look at all the beautiful footage and everything that she's done and shared. One of the other reasons why we're here tonight to chat with you is to learn about the evolution, the next steps, the next level, the next, you've moved there, you've been designing and building, and now you are inviting others to come along with you on that journey and to experience Bali in their own way. You have the Bali Design Retreat. The next one is coming up in June. And Trust Kish Designs is like, I want the details. Give me more details about the design retreat. And I'm there with you, sis. I want to know too. So let us know about the retreat, and you have some exciting updates as well, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the updates is the change of date. So originally it was April. We've changed to June for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is we are collaborating with Black in Bali, which is a large Black community based in Bali, and they are organising a Juneteenth event. So they've done that for the past 3 years, but it's been growing and growing and growing every year. Last year was such an epic event. We had people from all over the world come and celebrate. We had workshops, we had, entertainment, and it was just so beautiful kind of being in that community. But, also getting to experience Bali at the same time. So I really wanted to add like some cultural depth, immersing in Bali culture, but also giving people an opportunity to connect with like-minded travelers and with our own community in Bali. So we are changing the date so we can, everybody who comes to the retreat will have a complimentary pass to the Juneteenth event. So yeah, on my channels, I'm going to be putting a lot more information out. We're working with Black in Bali to kind of share some of that information about what's on offer. And, you know, from what I understand, it's going to be even bigger and better this year. So yeah, the date. And also I've changed the name. So it was Bali Design Retreat, and we've changed it to Bali by Design. Very small tweak, and people might think, well, why did you change it? It was so simple. But conversations that I've been having with people, I think Bali Design Retreat was giving off a vibe where people felt it's exclusive to designers. So you had to be a professional designer or a professional creator. Bali by Design, my thinking about that, it's about curating or designing a beautifully created trip that inspires both professionals and personal people on it for their personal journey. So it's a wordplay about the whole fact that the whole event and retreat is being beautifully curated and designed, rather than design being, you know, that we're going there for design. So there'll be elements of design. It's who I am. It's going to be creative, and there'll be elements of design. But I definitely don't want people to feel like they have to be in that niche, that they have to be professionals. It's just for people who are inspired by creativity. It's a well-rounded program. So there's going to be, you know, wellness in there. So we have people have access to massages and water purification, sound healing, different wellness activities, as well as, you know, having the experience of immersive activities, hands-on activities that are going to inspire and, you know, align and reignite your creativity, as well as cultural immersion. So we'll be having tours and workshops, and, you know, really understanding about the beauty and the intentionality as well of Balinese culture, and how that is kind of embedded in everything that they do and design and create. There is always some thinking and intentional thinking behind that. So it's a range of different things. As a designer, you're going to pick up things. The first retreat, we had some designers on there, and they were able to, you know, learn new things, learn new techniques, and take some practical things away, as well as being inspired. And we had people who weren't professionals who also were able to take things away. So I just wanted to, I guess, open it out, be more inclusive. There's a bit of intrigue in the name as well. It doesn't exactly spell it out, but that is kind of my thinking behind the name. So the other thing I'll quickly just touch on is that we're going to have a second retreat in October. I think my journey, people are always kind of asking, how did you do it? The practicalities, like we've had some of those practical questions today. How did you do it? What was this like? What was that like? How did you find this? How did you find that? So the October retreat will be living the dream. And giving people an opportunity to come and experience it for themselves, but also get that a lot of their practical questions answered. So I'll be partnering with, you know, people who are in that field of supporting people to move, whether it's visa agents, housing. We'll go to different areas of Bali. We'll immerse ourselves in the life. You'll have opportunities to have one-on-ones and connect with different people if Bali is somewhere that you're looking at. Still, I want to do that from my creative lens. So we're going to be bringing that into it, but it will have, you know, a different kind of focus. So I haven't really put that out, so it's kind of exclusive. And I really want to hone in and tighten on that itinerary and make sure it's really, you know, great value before I put it out there properly. But we have some beautiful people online, so you'll hear it first now, but that's the plan for those two different retreats that will have a different kind of focus.
Now I see.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
Can I just say with that? Can I just say with that?
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
So both of them are called designed by Bali, but the June one is designed by Bali, creativity and culture, and the October is Bali by design, living the dream. So they'll have, like I said, two distinct niches. Obviously, I'm still hosting them, and I come with, I can't do anything without bringing that creativity into it. But they'll be kind of separate for depending on what you're looking for.
Now, call me Angie. I see that you asked the question about the location of the retreat. Just want to remind everyone, we're loving the questions and the comments. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for tuning in and asking your questions. Just want to remind everyone, if you have a question or a comment, all you have to do is just hit the subscribe button on my channel so that you'll be given access to the comment section. So keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming, and we love them. So call me Angie. She wants to know, will you be hosting the retreat at your house? Right? Right? I'll let you answer that. That would be amazing.
No, no, we won't. We don't host the retreat at my house. It's not big enough. But we definitely, as part of the design retreat last year, we did come to one of the villas, and we did attend one of the villas, and we did a tour, and then people were able to walk around and ask me questions, and that was a good experience. Just being able to have that time and really look into everything. I put so much thought and detail into everything, because it's what gives me joy. So, I had new pieces with old pieces. Like I said, this is the villa that had the old farmer's trough on the wall. So there were so many questions. And it's probably something that I will bring into the June retreat, because it was well received. Just giving people an opportunity to go to a villa and ask questions, spend time there, just see how that villa life is, because the retreat, the accommodation is actually in a resort, like a smallish resort in Ubud, and I have chosen that because I love the fact that it's has elements of traditional but modern. So you'll go in and you'll have like a traditional welcome and blessing before you go in. The staff are in their traditional Balinese attire. Just the cultures and the service is very kind of old school but beautiful. And I feel like if you come to Bali, especially for the first time, I want people to experience it all in its most authentic way. It's right by rice terrace, and they offer kind of walks in the morning if you want to do that. It also has like a gym and a yoga studio, restaurant, pool. So you'll have, those modern amenities, but still feel like you're in Bali and you experience that traditional Bali, beautiful hospitality. So that's where we'll be staying. But yes, visiting a villa will be on the agenda. But everywhere we go really has been thoughtfully designed, created, curated to give people inspiration. So from the restaurants that we'll go to the workshops and the things that we'll do there. We go to beach clubs as well. So I want people to know it's learning. You'll get a lot out of it, but we have a lot of fun. So even down to the beach clubs, and like I said, adding that Juneteenth event, it's a beautiful mix and blend of different things.
Now, regarding the June retreat, you said that you've held similar retreats before. What has been the feedback, and how have you tweaked this upcoming June retreat based on some of the feedback that you've gotten? Tweaked it for the better.
Yeah, we had our first retreat in August. I feel so blessed that we had the most beautiful group for the first one, and who gave us feedback that of being able to, understand what's really worked and ways that it could be tweaked. I had this conversation with someone just the other day that I was so glad we were able to form a relationship, that they felt open enough to talk to us. So I guess some of the tweaks that we've made is to the itinerary. I am like so passionate about wanting people to come and have a beautiful experience. And for me, there's so much that I wanted to give people and share and let them experience in the week that they was there. Like, it was a great, if I say so myself, itinerary, but some of the feedback was that we need to maybe space it out, and or maybe just give people an option. They can do this, but you can also just chill. So some people was pumped to get on everything and everything we offered, but other people, and that's it, you're always going to have different personalities. So for me, it was just like, okay, this is the suite of things that we want to offer, but I also want you to know you can opt out of things, and that's fine. There's so many things that are happening in the resort. Like, you can go for a spa in the resort, you can enjoy the amenities in the resort, you could join us in the afternoon if you don't want to do something in the morning. So it's giving people kind of permission to say it's your time, and you can do everything we have to offer, or you can chill out as well. Some of the other things about logistics, so Bali can be busy, the roads can be a lot sometimes, so it's logistically trying to do things so the traveling is limited, we're not spending so much time in traffic, like things like that, that I've really been able to think about and implement. Another thing was we got beautiful footage. We had videographer, photographer who took the most beautiful footage. But some of the guys wanted help and support in terms of curating content there at the time. So we're thinking about how we implement that as well, and providing people opportunities and even helping them to create content, in the moment. The other thing that we didn't have the last time is a creative circle. So that will be inviting people from outside of the retreat who live in Bali, but other creatives, to talk about their creative journey and how they've made that work in Bali. Not just from a in Bali perspective, because not everyone who will come to the June retreat, has a desire to live in Bali, but just their journey and an opportunity to ask questions, or just to be inspired by people who have either made a transition or are in something that might be inspiring. I really like that idea because it just brings it widens the appeal. Like I've said, I don't want people to feel like they just have to be designers. So I'm going to be inviting, someone who's in the wellness industry, in the music, filmmakers, to come and talk to us, a poet, to come and talk to us about their creative journey. So I'm really excited about that and what people might get from that as well. Those are some of the main things. I am so appreciative of the feedback that we got. Some was great, and a lot of things we'll keep. But there's always tweaks and things like that that can be made. So I'm definitely taking that on board. I call that group. Why have I just lost the word for what we call them? But they were the first ones, and they gave me, so much. So definitely grateful, and definitely, and I think it's not just going to stop there. You always got to listen to people. So we really, we had opportunities for people to talk, and we didn't do the interviews because we just wanted them to be free to say whatever. So we had somebody else come in and have those conversations with them, so they could be really honest about that. So definitely studied all of that, studied all the feedback, and also talked to them afterwards in communication with everyone that's been in the retreat. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's we've been able to make that connection for life, and some of them are working together on different projects. So definitely, connection is a big part of what we want to get from people. We learn from each other, we can support each other. So it's definitely one of the benefits of kind of a group trip, and not too big either. It's intimate enough for everybody to feel comfortable, but make those connections.
Now, call me Angie and CEF. I see your comments. But really quick, Chantelle, remind us of the new dates. What are the new dates for the June retreat?
Yeah, 15th to the 21st of June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's play. That's a nice amount of time. Everyone, I love that. And I love the idea that it's going to be going on right around Juneteenth in Bali, which is such an exciting experience to have to, I mean, that's not something that you can do every day, celebrate Juneteenth in another country. So just to have that experience alone is invaluable. Now,
Yeah.
Call Me Angie said, I am in. I love that. She visited in June 2013, and unfortunately wasn't able to connect with the Black and Brown expat community.
Mm,
The Bali people are the definition of kindness and peace. Talk to us
mm.
about that very briefly. What is the Black and Brown expat community like in Bali? And it sounds like you're going to be working with them on upcoming projects, which is really great.
Yeah. So the Black in Bali are a group that kind of brings people together from all different places. There's a lot of people from the US, but there's also people from different parts of Europe. And it's a hub really where you can go and connect with people. So they'll have different events, a meetup, where, it might be a dinner and games and stuff like that. From there, you'll find people who you'll gel with, and then you go out and make connections and friendships. I've got some amazing friends that I've started from that hub. And then they'll have once a month we do a volunteering at this organisation that cooks meals for kids that are in really poor schools, and people cook, and then you can actually go and deliver them to the schools and just see what that is like as well. And then they have a lot of like party celebrations, clubs, if you're into that. So there's something kind of in it for everybody, but it's really good at pulling people together, because like more recently, I guess, people have made that decision that they want to experience a different life. And there's people like that have moved there. Some are transient, but there's a big community that have been there for a long time, like 10 years or so, even more. They have lots of different even subgroups, so people who are concentrating on wellness and spirituality. There's groups about that, or within the Black Black community. So yeah, I think that was something that kind of solidified it for me, because I'm like, I want to meet people from all over, you know what I mean? But knowing that I have a community, like when you need to be with your people, when you need to be a certain way, it's there. And it's such a beautiful hub, like I said, to connect people. So yeah, they are doing great things. And like I said, the Juneteenth, I first went to the first one maybe 2 years ago. That was beautiful. But really like family orientated as well. And then the one last year was like we went from here to here in terms of scale. And this year it's going to be even bigger. So kind of like the biggest Juneteenth event across Asia, because people will travel in from different travel groups, but also people who are just kind of coming in for that, or people who are living there. And I love the fact that they want to make it fun, but they want to give in terms of like, what can we take from that? Education, workshops, maybe, I don't know, I need to talk to them, but they've got ideas, but they were still kind of mapping out. But some of the preliminary ideas, I'm like, this is good. I think it's going to be really worthwhile. So yeah, it's a shame that you didn't connect, Angie, but there's opportunity for you to come back and make those connections. Like I said, I've made so many good friends. Some of them are still there, some have moved on, but like some are for life. So I am very grateful for that. It's made a big difference to my journey.
Now, CEF and Kim are both very excited about the retreat, and it's easy to say why. It sounds like an amazing trip and very intentional, but fun and exciting. It's about creativity. It's about community, which I think is right on time. I mean, if there wasn't a better time to create community, but also tap into your own creative spirit, I think now is a wonderful time to do that. Now, you also have some special promos going on right now for the June retreat. Talk to us about that.
Yes. So because we've kind of relaunched in a way, in terms of our name and in terms of the dates, which is a significant thing, I put a promotion out there, which I think is very lucrative, and it's not something that we're going to be repeating. But yeah, just an opportunity to get interest and for people to be able to make it more accessible. So for us, we are offering a $300 discount up until the 23rd of June. You can talk about your exclusive promotion to your community beyond that if you want any, but that's what we're offering with the code BBD300. And also, like the bonuses, like I said, it will be a pass to the full day for the Juneteenth event. I'm really looking forward to sharing a lot more information about what that will entail, as well as a like welcome to Bali welcome pack. So some of the fundamental things that you'll need while you're in Bali, we're going to be offering that as well. So yeah, that's for the next few weeks. We've made it really easy for people to sign up. So right now you just pay a $500 deposit, and then there is a payment plan over the next few months to make it a lot more accessible. I'm also, available if people want some advice or some tips on booking the right flights. That is obviously something separate outside of the retreat, but happy to help given, my experience in helping other people previously with that as well. So yeah, it's a great time. It gives you time now to kind of make those decisions, but it'd be good to get in early and, to really utilize that payment plan. And we don't add, a lot of people do, but we haven't added any surcharges or anything like that for you to do that. So it's open to everyone. It still has the same price whether you pay in full or you pay over a period of time. And like I said, the deposit is $500. So hopefully making it easier for people to access it and be part of it and feel like it's something they can do.
Now, as Chantel mentioned, all the subscribers to my channel, you also get a discount. You get a $300 discount on your trip when you book it online and enter the code Reflektion 200, and that's Reflektion with a K. I'll also link all of that information in the description of this video. It's also in the description of Chantel's How We Live Home Tour episodes. You can get more information there as well regarding discount codes and links. Now, that discount code Reflektion 200 is valid through February 29th. So if you are interested in going and you want to take advantage of the discount, make sure you remember to use that discount code by February 29th to get $300 off, which is really great, especially when the deposit is only $500. So definitely doable. And I think, let's see if we have any other questions. If you have any other questions or comments, all you have to do is just hit the subscribe button on my channel and it'll give you access to the comment section where you can ask any questions or comments that you have. While we see, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Anitra, I was just wanting to pick up on, is it Kim's comment about trying to decide which month to go to? I guess just wanted to make it clear about the differences. So there will be some crossover for sure. Like even when you come in June, it is giving you an opportunity to see what Bali is like. But June is definitely a creative retreat. with elements of culture, connectivity, all of that. And October is going to be geared towards people who are thinking about making a transition to live in Bali, whether full time or part of the year, or to diversify investments and have something there. We will still have some of the same things. So I still want to implement some of the wellness activities and, immersion into that cultural life, but it's definitely like a different focus. So I guess for people to think, which one is better suited. If you are thinking of moving to Bali, then October is definitely for you. If that isn't your intention, then that's definitely not the one, because it definitely has a different focus. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear that they are very different. So everyone will know where they're at, what their thinking is, but yes, just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying, because that is going to affect the person's experience on the trip if they know what it's about and what the focus of the trip is.
Yeah.
Now, there are also opportunities for people to come with a partner or friends. I mean, you can book different types of rooms, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have 3 different types of rooms. Junior suite, premier, which is they're quite similar, the junior and the premier, just the premier is a bigger suite. And then there's the 1-bed paddy villas, which have their own private pool, completely different layout than the suites. What I would say about the room is another reason we were in another resort for the last retreat, which was really beautiful. But one of the reasons why I decided to change was because I felt like people want to be in their own rooms. Group travel is, if you've done it before and you've shared a room, and that's okay for you, that's fine. But I think about me and I'm like, gosh, that would really put me off sharing a room with a stranger. I like my own space. So we're in a resort where everyone has their own room. And where we were before, if you had your own room, it was almost, $2,000 more expensive to be able to offer a single occupancy. But within how we've been able to do it is that everyone has their room, and that's the base level. If you want to share with somebody your partner or a friend, that's fine. It brings the price down a little bit. But also just to be aware that it's a beautiful room, but it's designed, I guess, for your people by themselves or partners. So the bathroom is kind of semi-open. So if you are thinking of coming with someone who isn't your partner, or you're not intimate, or I know a lot of women are okay with that together, but it's just to be aware. And so, yeah, that's the difference. It's your own room, which is great for people who might be a little bit, on the fence about group travel and be like, oh, I don't know about sharing a room with someone. Yeah, we wanted to take that away as well. Because we're doing a lot together. You need your time to be able to retire, go back, reflect, be in your own space, be in your own thoughts, have privacy to make your phone calls, all of that. So I really felt like, yeah, that was important.
That's a good point to bring up. Again, that's one of those you wouldn't know until you got there. So I'm glad that you brought up the open space in the bathroom, but also the difference between the accommodations from the previous retreat and how they'll work now. Because I think I'm with you. I need my own room.
Yeah.
Love y'all to pieces, but at the end of the night or end of the day, I need my own room. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So it's a really good tweak to the program. Thank you for that. Kim, thank you for joining us. I see that you have to hit the road. We're going to be wrapping up as well. Hey, me and my son's channel. Hello.
I love that name.
I know. Thank you for joining us. So, as I mentioned, we're about to start wrapping up. So, if you have any final comments or questions, and you haven't already, please just hit the subscribe button for my channel so you can join us in the chat, so we can answer any of your last comments or questions. I am so excited for you, Chantelle, to take your journey to another level. I mean, to move from one country to another is, you know, takes a lot of courage and um, just like one of the folks in our comments has said, a vision, seeing the vision, not only for your business but also for your life. So I applaud you for having that courage and having that vision, and also congratulate you for deciding I want to invite others into that, help others
Mm,
tap into their own creative energy and their own creative journey, as well as those who may see a new life in Bali and or may see business opportunities in Bali. So we're seeing growth and we're seeing evolution right now. You know, when we first spoke, it was we're doing a retreat for creatives, and now we're also doing a retreat. You know, you're also telling us that you're doing a retreat for people who are interested in moving to Bali and creating
yeah.
businesses.
I'll just say
Um,
something on that. Um, you've just made me think. Yeah, I feel so blessed that, like, for a long time, I think I told you that I was in social work and I loved it to a point, but the last 5 years, I was like, I am meant to be doing something else. I'm not meant to be doing this. I'm meant to be doing something else. And it was kind of eating me alive. I was like, I can't do this forever. Like, it isn't fueling me. I
mm,
feel like the reason why I'm so passionate about Bali and getting people to experience it is because it has changed my world, like in terms of giving me the confidence to be able to do different things, keeping me inspired. There's so many different things that I want to do. And I feel I had just had this conversation with someone else. There was nothing that would have stopped me from doing that in Melbourne, like nothing. But I didn't have that in me. I couldn't see it. I
mm,
couldn't see how I was gonna make it happen. I was in this like, place where I was just like, I'm not 100% happy, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Being in Bali, I don't know what it is. It's probably a combination of all the things that I've said, the inspiration, the people, being in nature and being grounded by all of that. And I feel like it's just a spiritual, culturally rich place. That in itself has helped me to see that I can do what I want to do. There are no limitations.
mm,
I can make things happen. Like I said to you, when I went there, I didn't even have a plan. I didn't even have a proper plan of how I was going to do it, but I was like, this is where I was meant to be, and I tapped into that. So, yeah, definitely sharing it is like me giving back. And that's why I said, some of the feedback was like, we get your passion, but we got to keep this contained because I just want people to have it. I know that when you tap into your creativity and you find something, it can change your life. That in itself, the design, the inspiration is important to me, but giving that back and giving and letting people experience it and hoping they get something like that from it is like what makes it so meaningful to me. So
mm,
as you said that, I was like, yeah, I just want to say it. It's something that has given, and I know, you will people will come to Bali, experience it, and be so enriched by the different things. So yeah, giving back means everything.
mm. We could go a whole different direction in the
You
conversation, just
know,
talking about the that feeling of being unhappy but not knowing what to do about it or not knowing exactly
yeah,
why, and how
yeah,
travel has helped you get clarity on the next part of your life, this next journey in your life. So we
mhm,
may have to have a part two just to talk about just to talk about that, because it's a new year, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably asking themselves. I know I often think about that too. Like, what's next? What do I want to do next? Is this the long-term goal? What are the long-term goals? If there is some unrest or unease, why and how can I change that? How can I change how I feel, but also change how I show up in the world and how I give back, to your point. So I love that. CEF, yes, I'm an own room type of girl too. Yes, girl. Yes.
100%, 100%. You need your
Yes,
space.
100%. We,
Yeah,
Chantelle and I talked a few days ago, and we were both in agreement that we're introverted extroverts. I think that's
yeah, yeah.
what we decided on. We lead with being introvert.
Yes.
But if we have to get into extrovert mode, we will. But we lead with being an introvert. And so that's where the
Mm,
having your own room comes in. It's like I done extroverted with y'all all day and I am wore out. So I need to go back to my natural state, which is being
mm.
an introvert and being, inside and quiet and just peace. So I love that that attendees on the retreat, especially those extroverts or just straight introvert folks, will have the options of having their own room. Any final
100%.
questions, folks? Any final questions or comments? This has been such a great conversation. Yes, CEF facts. Um, Such a great conversation, and I love that you were able to join us, Chantel, and share your story and share your beautiful homes, both in Australia and in Indonesia and Bali. Like I said, the episode blew up, and it was easy to see why. Um, Kwame Eaton said, "I understand the transformation, releasing stress and allowing Bali's elements and spiritual culture to
Mm,
heal you." Yes,
yeah. It's, yeah,
absolutely.
that is beautifully said. I think that, yeah, like you said, we could go on a whole new tangent, but I really love that. And I think that's probably it, just letting go. And
Mm.
yeah, letting all of those elements. Yeah, that's so beautiful. I'm going to screenshot that comment because it's been like when people ask, it's hard to kind of articulate it. What is it? Like I said, you could do any of those things here, but what is it about that place? I think that's beautifully put.
Mm. I might have to screenshot it too. Releasing
Yeah,
stress and allowing Bali's elements and spiritual culture to heal you. So that
that's
is
beautiful.
a great.
Might have to take that, Angie. You might see that in some of my marketing. You didn't trademark it, so you can't say anything. I
Sorry,
love
Anne.
too late now.
You blessed us. You literally blessed us and released it. So,
Yeah.
but she gave you a heads up. So this is a wonderful moment to end our conversation. I think because
Mhm.
I think that is the phrase or the intention for all of us to kind of sit and think about, whether we're deciding if we want to come to the retreat in June or if we want to join you in October. Oh, thanks, girl. Auntie said feel free.
Give, drop your IG so I can tag you as well when I drop it because I will be using that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good idea. Share your idea with us, Angie. Um, so yeah, it's something for all of us to think about when we
Mhm.
decide how we want to go into this new year, what we want to
Mhm.
release, and what are some ways that we can release any kind of stress or unhappiness that we have. Travel is probably one of the best ways to do that,
Yeah.
especially when you've curated such a trip that is intentional and that is giving. Yes, CEF,
Yeah.
everyone deserves it, but we Americans need it now more than ever. Help us.
Mm.
You had to go there, CEF. You had to go there. Don't get, don't get me started on us. See, you Shantel left us. Talk about America.
No, I was trying to screenshot it and it went wrong. I'm like, I don't want to lose that comment.
We done lost Chantel as soon as you start talking about America.
No, 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 no. It wasn't that.
But you are so right. Um, Yeah, now more than ever. But I think everyone around the world, I think in one way or another, we are, wrestling with some things, dealing with some things. It is on a whole other level here in the US. Um, you are right, CEF is on a whole nother level. But I think to Chantel's point that, we all are working on things and Angie put it so beautifully, the releasing of stress and transforming and allowing travel to help us do that. So I hope you guys choose a tour, whether it's this upcoming one in June or in October. As I mentioned before, as a Reflektion Design YouTube channel subscriber, you will get $300 off your trip if you use the code Reflektion200. That code will be in effect until February 29th. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. I will put all the information and the links in the description of this video so that you can book your trip. Make sure you're following Chantelle so that you can get more information about the October trip, which is really interesting and exciting. If you're thinking about moving to Bali, or if you want to do business in Bali, learning about Airbnbs there or various other industries, that is what the October trip is about, setting up shop, moving to Bali, which is very, very cool. So make sure you're following her so that you can get the tea on that trip as well. So the upcoming June retreat, creativity, Zen, building culture, Juneteenth celebration. October is about doing business, living in Bali, and so much more.
Living the dream.
Yes, living the dream. Thank you, CEF. Definitely sharing this video and info. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. It's a little after 8 here, Eastern time. I'm in Georgia, and always the fun part for me to say that it is tomorrow morning in Melbourne right now. So it's what, 12?
Tomorrow afternoon now. We're in the afternoon now. Yes, Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon. We are time traveling live on YouTube Live, which is so fun. But that just speaks to the beauty of community. Like we'll find a way, we'll figure it out. And the universe always sees a way, always finds a way, and shows us a way, most importantly. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Make sure you follow Chantelle. Thank you, sis. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been good. And just getting to know you more in this period of time as well and having our chats. I've really loved that. So yeah, thank you.
Of course, of course. I'm definitely about helping us live.
Give me extra work.
Don't tell anybody that.
No.
They're gonna look at me like, oh, she's that person.
No, it's all good. It makes sense. But I was like, oh.
And when y'all see what she manifests from this extra work, you're gonna be like, Anitra, you are a great friend. Y'all just
no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm playing. I'm playing. No, it's all good. Thank you so much.
Need that person.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it. I will appreciate it. Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Share this video if you know people who may be interested in moving to Bali, or people, interior design fans, home decor fans, people who want to do business in Bali, people who want to take a retreat, or people that you know that could use a transformative experience. An experience to joy and nature and immerse themselves in both of those things. You think it could help them or heal them in some way, share this video. Each one teach one, so we can all benefit from that. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great evening and a great weekend. I appreciate y'all. This is how we live.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.